All right, a few updates to the game room I thought I'd share with you, maybe inspire you if you're perhaps feeling stagnated or stale and need a kick in the pants. Consider changing or upgrading your game room, and you may feel a fresh, cool breeze wash over you, and you will feel reinvigorated and renewed to tackle any game your little heart so desires. What I've done is initially this table consisted of two hollow body doors on saws, horse saws. What do you call it? Still the case, however, I'm not sure what caused me to do so. Well, it started with I wanted the table to be bigger, as if it wasn't big enough, and arguably it was. But I have no kids or nagging wife or even a lady friend that I share the digs with, so pretty much anything I want to do goes. And let's see, we got call that back there the living room. This would be the, I don't know, another room, and then behind this is a bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, shotgun style house, long narrow thing. It just works out that this room is accommodating for large sized things and such the large table anyway. What I did have was a tape measure. No, here's a tape measure. What I did have was what this camera's sitting on now. Two doors that were 28 inches wide. So do the math. Was the width of this table. Now it's still the same length as it was before, which is just about 4 inches shy of 7 feet, clocking in at 80 inches. That didn't change. However, remember what I said initially, it was two doors side by side, each 28 inches wide, has now become two 3-foot doors equaling 6 feet wide. So I have gained a foot plus or minus, do the math, to the width of this table. Why is that important? It's not just go big or go home. You can be big and go home because, anyway. The greater width, and there's two probably arguments to this, and the two arguments coincide with what I now have as two options instead of one former option. Let me clarify. The schools of thought are such that most games actually, much less most people, start with everything army-wise for each side in a centralized, localized vicinity such that they're ready to start slogging at each other. That's fine, you cut to the chase, don't bore us, get to the chorus, all that stuff. Sometimes, though, you want to see things, you want things rather to develop and not be quite as predictable, not quite as cut and dry, get to the chase. So with a wider table, each side starting on either side, it allows for more maneuvering, which again, some may find that boring. I don't want to do all the maneuvering. I just want to start with the fighting. I get that, and I have that option if I so choose. But I also now have afforded myself the option of being able to maneuver towards each other, and not that black powder rules are the best, most fabulous rules on the planet. Not that I even use them all the time, but I do like certain aspects of them, and I've more than once steered away from implementing black powder onto the tabletop precisely because the table needs to be such that you can adequately use and implement the rules. Now you could argue, well, just cut the distances. Yeah, you can. But then you're dealing with scale and a suspension of scale in relation to reality, etc. So with this, I can pretty much keep to, I haven't decided yet. I can still do the it would be a stretch, I guess, but I can still do the movement rates, which I think is 12 inches for infantry. I don't fall off the top of my head. And I don't know why I'm trying to turn this into a song. Moving units, so yeah, 12 inches for infantry. So that's not all though. When you roll your command rolls, you can get up to 3 moves, which turns into conceivably potentially 36 inches in one go, which is a lot. So I may be still cutting those in half and doing 6 inches per go. I haven't really decided yet. But anyway, the bottom line is it allows for more maneuverability towards each other, and interesting things can happen on the way to your destination instead of already being there and then automatically shooting at each other. So take, for example, Commands and Colors, Napoleonics. I understand why they do it. They kind of have to do it that way, but everything is pretty much set up, ready to go. There's no real, as mentioned already 15 times in this video, maneuverability. So there's that. Very happy with it. These tables are, again, hollow body. They're not expensive. They're very affordable. They're fairly light, to be honest with you. And they're on 2 sawhorses. That's it. I've got one 2x4 and a sawhorse. That's it. There's your table. It doesn't have to be a fancy, expensive dream thing that'll never happen. Once you have what you need on top of the table, you don't even see really the table itself. So there's that. And for whatever reason, I just so happen to have enough of these Callistra hexagon tiles to cover the thing with a number of 6 hex panels left and a slew of single hex tiles to add as far as elevation, etc., hills, ridges, and whatnot. Was considering putting, I don't know if you call it trim, table edge around the perimeter of the table such that you can, I don't know, aesthetically, when you look at it, it contains it more, finishes it more, if you will. I don't know if I'll actually make it that far. So there's the table. What else has changed? Nothing else really. Shelving wise, that's still pretty much the same. What am I talking about? I'm talking about shelves there with Warlord Napoleonic stuff and some samurai at the top, and shelving here with Warlord ACW and some Flames of War stuff, with terrain stuff below that, and kind of, guess you'd call it gaming supplies and whatnot below the wall shelving on the opposite shelf. St. Louis Blues stuff, blah blah blah. We've all seen that. We've heard my spiel on. So anyway, this is the table now that my computer and camera sit on, and it used to be very tiny, and now I took one of the doors rather, that I used to incorporate into the game table that I just showed you, and this affords me, again, it's 28 inches wide, which doesn't seem very wide, but just for a computer table to sit at and put perhaps rule books on, it's plenty. And I think it's still, what did I say, 6 feet? So but anyway, it's substantially bigger than what I did have for my computer table. So both things have expanded, and I've got a nice little, just kind of a nice little gap in here, just wide enough to walk through, and works out just fine. I still have all this stuff, games behind the computer screen that you can't see, shelved that way now, laying flat, so they don't stick out quite as much from the wall. And plus, I think it's better to lay these things flat. Otherwise, you're risking losing counters falling out in the box, and the boards stand up free, the mounted boards, and start warping. Laying flat, I think, is the way to go. You can argue that boxes will become dished. I'm happy to take that argument with anybody that has it, and then more Warlord stuff here. along those shelves. And all my 28mm stuff that I worked so hard and long. So it was a nightmare of 6 months of painting. I'm glad I did it. The end result is great, but I suffered through those 6 months. And there they sit, just like they sat before I painted them. And here I play with unpainted, epic warlord stuff. So that's the end result of that. So there you go. There's a updated, upgraded game room. We've got expansions that we've implemented on our tables. And yeah, it does feel a little more, for whatever reason, inspiring. So, I don't know, maybe give it a shot. Even if it's just rearranging your game room, it can, like I say, inspire you or reinvigorate you and just shoot new life into your gaming hobby. Give it a shot, see what you think. Anyway, that's where we're at. The most fun aspect of this was I had everything set up, ready to go just like this, and I decided, let's go ahead and follow through with that expanding the table. Let's not wait till I'm done with a battle and everything's cleared off. Let's have everything set up for a battle, clear it all off, get everything just right, bring the two doors in, lay them down, relay all the terrain, and then run through yet one more time everybody on the board. And that's, you know, I have to do everything the hard way, so that was lots of fun. But this is ready to go, and again, this is the same thing that I talked about in the last video. It's still the Battle of Salamanca. I may have to, I haven't decided yet, render some elevated areas in there as it's mentioned in the scenario, and some geographical victory locations. I'll have to flesh those out a little better. But that's where we're at. Yeah, it's I guess on the one hand it feels somewhat claustrophobic and crowded in here. On the other hand, it feels pretty awesome. I don't know what the amount of surface area I have besides the floor in this room, counting shelves and tables now, but probably could build 3 or 4 more floors above this with all that surface area. Anyway, I digress. Guys, let me know what you think, and go and do likewise. Talk to you later.